Welcome to our devotion from Christ Lutheran Church in Pewaukee, Wisconsin. I'm Pastor Tim Gerbing. Today we listen to some words that come to us from Jesus in the Gospel according to St. Luke, chapter 13. And there I will read verses 31 and 32. At that time, some Pharisees came to Jesus and said to him, "Leave this place and go somewhere else. Herod wants to kill you." Jesus replied, "Go tell that fox. I will keep on driving out demons and healing people today and tomorrow. And on the third day, I will reach my goal." In the old fairy tales, the fox is a cunning and very clever character. He uses deception and trickery to get what he wants. Sometimes things work out very well for him. Sometimes things backfire. We just heard about some Pharisees who warned Jesus to get out of the area because they said that Herod was planning to kill Jesus. The Pharisees were just like the fairy tale fox that we probably learned about as children. The Pharisees were not interested in helping Jesus. They were using cunning and deception to get Jesus out of the way. They were tired of losing their many arguments with Jesus. They were sick of being embarrassed, looking like fools in front of people whenever they tried confronting Jesus. Well, Jesus saw right through them again here. And so basically, he let them know that he was going to do whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted. And there was nothing they could do about it. Jesus then also referenced Herod, and he calls him a fox. Now, when people thought about foxes back in Jesus' day, it was different than how we think about foxes today. We think about the fairy tale fox. But back in Jesus' day, if you were called a fox, it meant that people thought you were not important and that you were good for nothing. I think Herod would have been greatly surprised and angry to learn that Jesus thought he was an unimportant, good-for-nothing person. I mean, Herod was extremely wealthy. He flaunted his wealth. He was extremely powerful, and boy, he made use of it. He's the one who killed John the Baptist, after all. And Herod was well connected to the leaders of the greatest empire that the world had ever seen. What Herod and the Pharisees, as well as anyone who wanted nothing to do with Jesus, what these people did not understand is that the most powerful, well-connected, and wealthy human being was and always would be Jesus Christ. Now, you would not have known it by looking at him because he lived in poverty. He had no formal education outside of synagogue school. He owned no property. Jesus' wealth and power and prestige were all from another world, from heaven. And he did not only have godly power, he was in fact God. And he had an intimate connection with God the Father, saying that his connection to the Father was so close that he and God the Father were one. Through faith in Jesus' precious blood, we receive the riches of God's grace and his forgiveness. By his resurrection, we are guaranteed the wealth of God's only Son, the wealth of his eternal love, as well as unending life with him. Jesus refused to let anyone keep him from doing what he came to do, so that he could save us. And because of him, we have more than anything this world has to offer. Amen.